Alright, so here we are, dudes. Now we're going to talk about plant anatomy. Um, this seems like it might be taking a bit of a diversion, but this gets us onto plant reproduction, and then we'll do um, animal anatomy and animal reproduction. And then we're on growth and repair. So, by the end of this lesson, what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to draw a diagram of some plants and label them. You'll notice that while we're doing this, we're kind of going to ignore flowers, and that's because flowers are a bit special, and we'll talk about flowers when we do plant reproduction in particular. But we're kind of going to ignore flowers at the moment, and what we're going to look at are these things here called the xylem and the phloem. So this structure here and these structures here. All right. So the plant has two systems. Remember, we talked about tissues, so cells, tissues, organs, and systems. Okay, so the plant has two systems. You have the shoot system, which is above the ground, and the root system, which is below the ground. Now, each system has different functions. For example, the shoot system, so the leaves here, this is where photosynthesis happens, reproduction happens, that's in the flowers, storage, and that's in the stem here, and that's for starch, transport, so stuff moving up and down, and hormones occur in here. In the root system, you get anchorage, which holds it down, absorption, so stuff up from the soil, storage again, transport, and more hormones. Now, let's have a look at the actual diagram here. So, for example, we have the buds at the end. Here is our shoot system. Okay, it's not clear defined. I mean, you'll notice. Remember, we talked about how animal systems, how they'll kind of work together. There's a bit of crossover. Even in plants, we have a transition zone where they're both kind of working together. And we've got our buds. We have three different tissues that we're looking at. We have leaf tissue, we have stem tissue, that's what we'll spend most of our time in, and indeed our experiment, and then we have our root tissue. A little bit of extra homework for you is for each one of these, I want you to look up so all the way down here, so these ones here, I want you to look up a use for both of them, a use for each of them. So function. So cuticle, leaf cuticle, what's the function? Leaf epidermis, what's the function? All the way down. Xylem and phloem is actually going to be in all three, and you only need to look it up once. All right. Now, we're going to look at xylem and phloem. Now, here we have what it looks like from above. Okay, so if we do a cross section across the top here, around this inner circle, on the inside you've got xylem, and on the inside you've got phloem, and on the outside you've got xylem. Now they do different things. For example, the xylem is made of dead cells, and that's the woody tissue. The xylem is in the woody tissue of the plant. So you've got the xylem, which is made of dead cells and hard woody tissues. The cell walls are thick, and they're made of something called lignin, which is what, again, makes wood hard, is lignin. Its job is to transport water and minerals. It only transports upwards, so from the roots up to the leaves, and it takes water and minerals from the soil up to the leaves. And it's also fibrous, so it's the fibery part of it. Now, the phloem, on the other hand, is all living cells, and it's the heart. It's the inside of the plant. And essentially, the phloem, you can think of as the circulatory system of the plant. So it's where the blood would be. Now, this means it's made of living cells, and it's quite thin. It's just this little area in here, on the inside there. It's made of cellulose, so it means it's not hard and woody. It's very soft and flexible. It is very permeable, which means as stuff is going up, so where's my hand? If we've got nutrients going up this way, and it gets to a section where it needs to go, so there's cells out here that need the sugar, it can leave. So it's permeable. It also means it can go back in as well. That's what permeable means. You can go in and out. It transports food, essentially, and water and a few other things, but it's the nutrients and how that gets around. And it's carried to everywhere that's growing, pretty much the whole plant. And it moves up and down, so it carries stuff from the roots all the way up to the leaves, and from the leaves where the sugar's made, all the way down to the roots. And it also has companion cells in there which help aid in, like, transport and control of flow. So that's plant anatomy, and that's kind of what we're looking at. And then tomorrow we're going to look at, or next lesson we'll look at flowers. All right, cool. See you there.